Hey, if you're a solopreneur, I'm willing to bet you feel like you're juggling about a dozen different jobs all at once. Am I right? Your to-do list probably feels less like a helpful guide and more like, well, a monster that just keeps growing. If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to dive in and show you how to tame that beast and actually focus on the things that will grow your business. So let's just start with a question that, it might sting a little. I want you to look back at your last week of work. Were you just busy? Or were you actually building? It's a tough question, I know. But finding the honest answer is the absolute key to unlocking your business's true potential. And hey, if that question did sting, you're probably stuck in what we call the solopreneur trap. It's like being on a hamster wheel, right? You're running and running, answering emails, making tiny little website tweaks, checking social media, but your business isn't actually moving forward. You're busy, for sure, but you're not productive. And that is a one-way ticket to burnout. But don't you worry, there is a way out of the trap, and we're going to give you the map. First, we'll dig into what that trap really is. Then, we'll build the right mindset. After that, we'll arm you with some killer tools. And finally, we'll talk about the discipline to make all these new habits actually stick. All right, let's get right into it. You might think the most successful entrepreneurs are the ones pulling those crazy 80-hour weeks, but honestly, you'd be wrong. The secret isn't about working harder, it's all about working smarter. It's about applying a relentless, laser-like focus on the very few tasks that truly matter. So, now that we get the trap, let's talk about how to escape. And it all starts up here, with your mindset. Because, listen, you can have all the fancy productivity apps in the world, but if your head's not in the right place, you're just going to keep spinning your wheels. It is all about getting clarity before you take any action. So how do you get that clarity? Well, you start by finding your North Star metric. Think of it like a compass for your business. Without it, you're basically a ship lost at sea, just reacting to every wave and current. Your North Star metric is that one number, that single metric that tells you if you're actually heading in the right direction at this specific stage of your business.
So what could this North Star metric look like in the real world? Well, if you're launching a course, maybe it's hitting your first 100 email signups. If you're a freelancer, it could be landing 3 new retainer clients this quarter. The whole point is to have that one guiding metric that helps you make every decision and filters out all the noise. So, what's yours?
Now, let's talk about a principle that will completely change how you think about your work. It's called the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto Principle, and it is a total game changer. It basically says that 80% of your results, your success, will come from just 20% of your efforts. Your mission, then, is to find and protect that vital 20%. Just take a look at this chart. That huge slice, that's the 80% of your work that's probably low-impact busy work. But that small, powerful slice, that's the 20% that actually moves the needle. That's where the magic happens. It's the one sales call that lands a huge client, or the single piece of content that brings in tons of new leads. Your goal is to live in that high-impact zone. And this slide really nails the difference. On the left, you've got the work that builds empires. Selling, creating amazing content, developing your product. On the right, you have the stuff that just drains your soul. Checking email for the 10th time, scrolling social media, tweaking your website over and over. Be honest with yourself. Which side of this chart have you been living on? All right, mindset, check. Now you need the moves. In this section, we're going to arm you with some tactical frameworks that'll turn that chaotic to-do list into a lean, mean business-building machine. First up, the classic Eisenhower Matrix. It's so simple but so powerful. It helps you sort your tasks into 4 boxes. Got a client emergency? That's quadrant 1. You do it now. Got a request for a quick chat from someone who isn't a priority? That's quadrant 3. Delegate it if you can. And that notification from your favorite time-wasting app? That's quadrant 4, my friend. Delete. But here's the secret that most people miss. We all tend to live in quadrant 1, that urgent do box, putting out fires all day. But the real gold, the key to long-term growth, is hiding in quadrant 2, the important but not urgent tasks. Think of these as planting seeds. You might not see the results today, but over time, they are what will grow into a mighty forest for your business. So the Eisenhower Matrix is awesome for your daily tasks. But what about bigger projects? That's where the Moscow method is fantastic. It helps you prioritize a project's features into 4 clear categories. You've got your must-haves, the absolute non-negotiables. Then your should-haves, important but not critical for launch. Could-haves are nice additions if you have time. And finally, my favorite, the won't-haves, things you consciously decide not to do for now. Okay, you've sorted your tasks, you've prioritized your projects, but how do you actually get things done? Well, Mark Twain had some interesting advice for us. He said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And no, we are definitely not talking about a new diet trend here.
So here's the Eat the Frog method in 3 simple steps. First, every day, identify your ugliest, most intimidating, but most important task. That's your frog. Second, eat it. Do it first thing in the morning before anything else. And third, just enjoy that incredible feeling of accomplishment. Because trust me, once you've eaten the live frog, the rest of your day is going to feel like a piece of cake.
Okay, you've got the mindset, you've got the tools. Now for the most important part, making it all stick. In this final section, we're going to talk about the daily discipline you need to turn these ideas into lifelong habits. Because it's not just about what you do, it's also about what you don't do.
This might be the single most important lesson of this entire explainer. As a solopreneur, you are constantly bombarded with shiny new objects and opportunities. The real secret to success isn't becoming a master of saying yes, it's becoming a ninja of saying no. You have to be absolutely ruthless in protecting your time and your focus.
So how do you become a ninja of no? You use this simple 3-question filter. Think of it like your personal bouncer, deflecting all the distractions. Before you say yes to anything new, just ask yourself, does this actually align with my North Star? Can I delegate or automate it instead? And finally, is this really worth my time? If the answer to any of these is no, then your answer should be no too. And what about all those low-value tasks that are already clogging up your to-do list? It's time to run them through the 3 Ds filter. First, ask yourself, can I just delete this? Is it even necessary? If not, can I delegate it to a virtual assistant or a freelancer? And if not that, can I automate it with a tool like Zapier or Calendly? The goal is to get as much as possible off your own plate so you can focus. This slide right here gives you the recipe for a perfect, focused week. Start your week by setting clear intentions. End each day by preparing for the next one. And start every morning by conquering your biggest challenge. It's a simple rhythm, I know, but it is absolutely the rhythm of success. So, here's the bottom line. You have a choice. You can keep being a firefighter, constantly running around putting out fires and reacting to whatever comes your way, or you can be an architect, carefully and intentionally designing and building the business of your dreams, one important brick at a time. The choice is yours. So, what will you build tomorrow?